think is a very heads-up ban, limiting some of the engage potential. Presumably Zeka is going to pick here. I
mean, it looks good when Chovy plays it with Deathfire Touch. This is more of a Zeka pick.
The thing with the Cassiopeia is obviously if you get into the Cassiopeia's face, she has a lot of damage, a lot of threat. But I feel like HLE are kind of needing to close the distance more so. Yeah, so they do lock that in. I'm not convinced it really solves the problems that I think HLE can potentially have. And now DPLUS, I wouldn't be surprised if they just pick something really stable for Shiwu in this situation.
Any particular reason for that?
Just a vibe I'm getting. Just my intuition.
Yeah.
Nocturne going to come through. This is not the sort of stable pick I would have expected if they do go for the chase.
I feel like this has been what she was gone to for a blind pick pretty often, but I'm not a big fan of these blinds.
It's going to get matched with the Yorick immediately, which is no surprise. And maybe this is going to be redemption for Shiwu, but you're in a matchup which is favored to the other side, and Zeus did just completely black.
And Lucid, let's hop into the rift for game number 2.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Here we go. Game number 2.
Yeah. This is a game, you know, oftentimes the team who loses game 1 will be seeking redemption going into game 2. This feels less like team-focused redemption and more so individual-focused redemption. I think Gumayusi obviously hoping he has a better laning phase this time around with how rough things ended up in game 1. And Shiwu, yeah, definitely hoping things go better. Has gotten the Storm Raiders Surge. Is this the first time we've seen it in the LCK?
Smash is going to step up very aggressively here and not take the best trade himself.
Yeah, it kind of felt like they were just both Guma and Delight were hitting him at the same time, and Keria was a bit further back. Really important that like you have parity with your support and your positioning. And as well, when you're playing into the Nami, she's always going to soften the impact of trades with that sustain. So the fact that Smash is already low on HP doesn't feel too good.
Yeah. All the secondary summoners have been traded as well. So no barriers, no heals. It's all traded out at level 1.
I think this is the first time we've seen Storm Raiders Surge, right?
I don't remember seeing it personally.
I mean, obviously Jace has the burst damage to proc it, but we'll see how efficiently he's able to use it as an escape tool. Oh, there's an example.
Yep. Going on in, the fast bomb is going to miss on the smash. Glitterlance hits Guma. So, kind of taking the worst end of that trade, but then eventually goes back towards DK.
So I think a good window to get a recall here for DPLUS, given that you just don't have the same level of sustain. Smash was slightly outside the rush there. They are sticking around. The Light's pretty low on mana, but Guma being healthy as a result of that. This is the reason I feel like the Cassiopeia was picked, is the lane matchup. Kind of hard for Showmaker ever to really walk up to the Cassiopeia.
Oh, flashed on here. The Q is just going to take down, and Zeka in the 1v1 picks it up.
Huge play from Zeka. Lucid not able to chase him down either. Flashes in, commits for the play, and this is why he went for the Cassiopeia for the 1v1 matchup. And getting an early kill like that, definitely huge for HLE.
It's kind of crazy. He flashes in, lands the miasma immediately, so that Showmaker doesn't really have any recourse. And he knew it. You saw his face on the camera. He's like, man, nice play from Zeka. That's probably what he was thinking.
Yeah, I feel like having Deathfire Touch on Cassiopeia, you don't have like the... Like in obviously before you'd have like Conqueror or Phase Rush. I mean, I think it was more Conqueror, to be honest. In those extended fights, you don't get like the healing that can come through and the stacked with Adaptive Force, but there's just so much poke pressure, I feel like. Flash W there was really well played. Just had enough mana for that, by the way. Like exactly enough. Goes for a drink and then dodges away for the Nocturne.
He's like, oh, that was That was really nice.
노플이야.
So, respect shown. It's just another day at the office, though, for Zeka, who had no reaction and dodged Nocturne with the drink in his hand.
Oh, no.
And Showmaker going to be happy he leveled up a little bit, but he's still not going to be happy.
I mean, that's the thing with the old Conqueror in the extended trades or fights felt good, but that fight touch does so much damage. And the thing is, it works well in the extended fights too, because the burn amps after it's been on them for 3 seconds. You know, Twin Fang puts it on for 4 seconds. The dots just keep reapplying it. So I'd honestly be interested how much damage Zeka's done with the Deathfire touch already. But I think Showmaker definitely feeling it on the other end.
Yeah. So they're looking for a trade here. Guma going to eat the Slurkle, but a nice bubble here from Delight's going to help out. Barrier does come down, but Guma does get pretty low at the end of the day. Lots of harass coming out from Keria. Even another Slurkle to come out and force Guma back.
Oh man, Showmaker does not need to get ganked right now.
Yep, he does have Flash, but I mean, maybe he flashes here and tries to get away from the knockup, and that he will. Kanavi not going to follow up. And obviously, Zeka doesn't have his, so.
Yeah, I mean, he survives it, but Flash being down doesn't feel good when you're already being pressured out in lane so much so. And the fact is, Zeka's going to have his Flash up in not too much time. Combo that with the ultimate, and then maybe the window for another solo kill.
I just feel like for Showmaker, this is such a nice comfort pick, and you're probably coming into this and saying, oh, you know, it's TF, he's good into most lanes, I should be fine. And then Zeka picks Cassio, and you're like, wait.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be dominated this much.
Yeah. He is struggling.
Like, we've seen TFs fall behind, but it's okay because he's TF and he gets extra gold, but...
I mean, you're still going to have value as TF, but it definitely feels bad, and your ability to impact the map is massively reduced when you're just getting bullied out of lane so far. We have seen Shu having a pretty good laning phase so far, though, which is something at least.
Yeah. Trying to make up for game number 1. We do have Lucid on the Scuttle Crab, it looks like. Nope, the Dragon. Thought maybe he was on that, but yeah, he's going to pick up level 6 from that.
Lucid Swiftness for Showmaker, I think, is a wise investment. And now he's actually looking to make a play top. Zeus could just be dead if this comes through. Although I saw a ping on the red buff. I think they suspect Kanavi's here, and they have the tools to collapse onto him.
I mean, Lucid maybe was in range, but then you know, Zeka could just walk over, and I think in that 2v2 you do not win, so...
I think there was a moment where if they'd, you know, we have full information, maybe if there's a ward down there, they could have gone for the play, but I think he walked too far, and as you said, Zeka is such a threat you don't really want to tango with.
And he's like Cassiopeia with 2 ruby crystals, but still. Trying to make a play here on a Zeus, says he is going to land the Ghoulie Wall, but Flash going to deal with that very nicely. The fear comes out, and Zeus goes down eventually. Lucid will pick it up with the Q. And they do get the kill in the extended play.
Yeah, good play there, and Zeus obviously threw the Ghoulie Wall down, but then had to flash away, and Lucy just flashed out to follow, so didn't really gain anything from that ability. Good first Nocturne gank.
Right, going in for a good trade once again. Smash gonna ult away from the bubble. But all things considered, Smash pretty low on mana. He's going to get a nice trade here at the end of it, though, against Delight. But I would assume that, yeah, Showmaker in a lot of trouble here. No flash for him. Gets flashed on by the Xinjiao, and that'll be the end of him. So now 0-2 for Showmaker, and Zeka has 2 kills already.
This kind of feels similar to game 1, where she, you know, died in a solo kill, and then HLE just twisted the knife. Just said, you know what, we'll just amp that up. We'll come back and we'll punish it. Here, you know, he puts the wall down and flashes out of it, and it's just the most logical thing to flash to follow. I think Zeus was just kind of dead here. I don't think there was much he could have done to outplay this. But here, we already saw the gank to get his flash. Follow-up gank here. Both of them have their flashes, so it's just impossible really for him to outplay it. And it kind of feels like a repeat of the Aurelia in the sense that, you know, you make a mistake in lane and then they just keep punishing you, keep finding ways to put you behind.
Also, as a bonus, Lucid had just Paranoia top, so they knew that, you know, the Nocturne's not going to come flying in. I feel like even if Lucid did come flying in, probably they still kill Showmaker. Like,
Yeah.
maybe Lucid trade. Maybe he trades back on a Kanavi, who still had Crescent card, by the way. But, you know, and I'm not saying that Lucid shouldn't have ulted top. Obviously, that was still a good play. But it was just like that even extra layer of safety that's like, yeah, we can just kill Showmaker again.
They
Like,
didn't.
there's just nothing.
They didn't need to be paranoid about it.
Exactly.
You know, they had the information.
Yeah. I think that's a good ability name in general. I feel like, though, when you hear it, you can't really guess what you're getting out of it, you know?
I mean, I think it just lasts such a long time, the darkness.
Yeah.
That was the thing that really put Nocturne back in the meta, because we hadn't seen him for a while. This was years ago, to be fair. But they buffed the duration of it, and I think it's something that, more than any ability in League of Legends esports, I feel like the viewer just doesn't get the full scope of how obnoxious it is.
Yeah.
Like,
I was just talking about the name itself, Paranoia.
Oh.
Like, can you guess what the ability is if you just hear Paranoia? As you're going to dodge the Ghoulie wall here, and he's got a Nocturne to help out. No flash for Zeus. He's just dead once again. And Siu looking much better here on this Jace. Nice setup from him.
I feel like if I had to guess based on the name, I'd feel like it'd be something like...
A trade in the bot lane. The circle's going to come in, but now Smash has to flash the bubble. And he puts on one of his own with the barrier. Now Showmaker's like, yeah, I can just walk into my mid lane, right? No. He's very low now.
I'd assume if I hit Paranoia, it'd be like a dot ability or like just like a caster's ability.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, you know, like Dream Eater in Pokemon sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it definitely makes people paranoid.
Like a mind attack of some sort.
Yes,
But
exactly.
yeah. Complete and utter darkness. Not sure. Maybe that should be the name. Complete and utter darkness. It's a little bit.
I feel like
a little bit long.
I feel like it's gaslighting a little bit to say it's paranoia. You know?
Yeah.
It's like no, it's a
It's a real threat.
Yeah. If someone just, you know, if you're walking out and it's a bright sunny day and it suddenly just turns completely dark and you just hear like a whooshing noise, it's just like ghostly being flies towards you and you hear the darkness. You know, I don't think you'd be able to call that being paranoid.
Yeah.
I think that's
you'd
a
be
very
pretty justified in your fear.
that's a a very valid fear.
I'd be like, well, I guess this is the end. Like, I think it would be pretty obvious. HLE are looking for this Infernal Drake, and DPLUS are kind of like, okay, maybe we can fight, but they don't have a mid lane. So,
Yeah.
no, you can't fight. And it's Cloud Soul.
Pretty good soul, I feel like, for either side. I think a lot of HLE is wanting to close the distance and the movement speed helps. Oh, they're looking.
Trying to turn here onto Zeka. He does have that rod, so he's pretty tanky. They don't quite have the damage, and look at that Nocturne just being burned down, but eventually they do get the kill. Lucid now on the run, trying to run towards his Lulu. As the wave gonna catch the Lulu, but now Kanavi just goes in on a Showmaker, and there's the Wild Growth, flashes the bubble, and in they go. Career with the Polymorph, but they just don't have the damage. A Showmaker, not only a Catalyst, doesn't do anything, but to be fair, Delight not able to kill the Nocturne either. And so DK do get away for now.
Oh, Kanavi, he's gonna get stunned here if he goes for this.
Oh, looks like he had an inkling that this was gonna happen, and now the roam down from Siu just means that Kanavi is dead.
Oh.
Nearly gets the kill on a Lucid, though.
Lucid playing with fire there, but able to survive. Huge advantageous play for DPLUS there. Able to find Zeka. The CC layering comes through, and then Kanavi, you can see how desperate he was to make something off this play. In this situation, stun card into the fear. Zeka doesn't really get to do anything. And Kanavi is trying to clean up this play, but Lucid able to kite away for a while, and then Kanavi sees a Lulu and goes, oh, this is a bit of a problem. The fact that Lucid lives this, flashes from the bubble, and then the Light tries to kill him and he gets a spell shield on the back end. This could have easily gone wrong in many ways for DPLUS, but able to survive on such low health. And then here, the roam down from the Jace to pick up this kill.
Yeah, I feel like this could have been communicated better from the side of HLE Esports. I mean, top lane isn't exactly going well. And the second Siu's off of Vision, I think as Kanavi, you have to respect. I know it's difficult for Kanavi to do that, but in that case, definitely should have backed away. And he doesn't, so he just dies to Lucid it was. But she would just pick up the assists. And so that's a 3-0 Nocturne.
But like, I know she was gotten a lot of help from the Nocturne, but he's been having a great game so far in this one. You know, I feel like picking the Jace blind, a pick we've seen very feast or famine in the LCK, very hit or miss. But then able to have a good laning phase, obviously getting the backup of Lucid, but I think it's good to see he didn't lose his confidence after that game 1. I think a lot of players would have had a game 1 like that and been like, just pick me on or something.
Maybe it went so far south that he was just like, well, you know, I've hit rock bottom. Like, whatever, I don't care. Like, just pick me, Jace. I'll press my buttons. You know, it can't get worse than this. I say, as they're trying to make a play here, but she is very fast, and he ran away.
Able to disengage. Also has gone the Spirit Shojin first, so actually a lot bulkier.
It's a lot of damage on Smash.
Yeah, this is a big spike for the Corki. A lot of burst for the Nami as well with the Mandate.
And Kanavi, I mean, yes, he died, but he's still pretty strong. They're trying to turn here onto the Nami, it looks like, but immediate disengage comes out. Tons of damage, though, from the Yunara, as Smash just pushes forward, picks up a kill. Showmaker also getting one of his own. CK call the bluff and pick a big fight.
Such an aggressive play from DPLUS there, but they commit to it, they get the CC down, and Smash is just able to shred damage across multiple members. DPLUS now with a pretty sizable lead here, going to be able to pick up the Herald. And I feel like if I'm them, you grab the Herald, you save it for that team fight in a minute. If you win that Dragon fight handily, you're going to be in such a great position.
And Zeka, you know, he's pretty strong, but he wasn't really able to do much there. And DPLUS Kia, it feels like they're finding these fights that are heavily in their favor. And that's really what a composition like this can offer you. When TF can join, when Nocturne can join from pretty much anywhere, you can decide whether it's going to be a good fight or not and kind of be proactive and force the fights on your terms, especially when you have a Unar that eventually, and even now, is a decent threat up against HLE.
Yep, and I think HLE just don't have great ways to lock Smash down. You know, the miasma can cause issues, but it's not that hard CC. You don't have a Vire or Nautilus. Smash starts to get fed. He's already 900 gold up in the matchup. He is going to be a big issue. Yeah. Dragon is now up and available. They have kept that Herald. So already, it's a big disadvantage in terms of gold for HLE. You also don't have Flash in your AD carry in this situation. And DPLUS have the 6th member in the Combat Herald to make use of. I think you just let it go. I think you just don't fight this.
Yeah. Maybe wait for Corki's second item or something like that. There's a lot of damage out here from Zeus already on his Geo. Under turret, he is going. Flash away. Zeus is like, yeah, I'm going to flash out of turret range. Okay, we'll see how that one ends up. Kanavi is going in onto this. The Paranoia available. Just going to go on to Guma. There is the Wild Growth. Catches the both and Lucid just dies anyway, as he didn't have the damage alone. And now the flash over the top from Zeka picks up the kill on a Smash. And just like that, HLE are back in the game.
Well, the wildcards do kill Gumayusi there, but it's still a massive fight win for HLE. Now saying maybe you don't go for this. If you find the angle, then I guess you can just pull it off. It was kind of crazy that Shiwu survived there, and we have to pan down to see the fight going on. But he was so low on the tower there.
Keria? Yeah, he's going to be slowed up, and now he gets miasma. He's just dead. I mean, not respecting the Nami, just runs into his death. Especially with Zeka there now on 4 kills on this Cassiopeia.
He's extremely fed. And I think DPLUS rushing in a bit too hard here. You know, initially, we see a little scraps going on with Kanavi. But the thing is, Gumayusi and Delight are so close to the turret already. We get this ult in, but then the tidal wave and the ult from Kanavi do such a good job of disengaging. And it buys time for Zeka to get here. I think that combo of Delight and Kanavi, the knockaways, just saving the fight. Oh, that was unfortunate. If you kept walking forward, would have avoided it. So, between this and the death to Scorch last game, I think those are some unfortunate deaths.
Just unlucky, you know?
Yeah.
I really like how Guma took the trade as well in the Smash. He knows that in an extended play, he will lose to the Yunara. But he just went in for a little burst thing and then just Valkyried out. And he put Smash at half health, and yeah, he was like, he took a little bit of damage himself, but that really set up the play for Zeka to then come in and get the kill on a Smash.
And this is how you have to kind of play the Corki Nami, you know? It's in some ways similar to the Nami Lucian, but it's very burst focused, especially in the mid game, and into a Yunara Lulu. You go for the little bits of burst, disengage. Has now got the mana immune, not quite fully stacked, but if you look at his items, you look at Zeka items, this is a pretty great spot for HLE to be in. Wall doesn't quite stop the Herald there.
Yeah, can just crash into the bottom lane turret.
Okay, decent driving. But it's just traded on the top side of the map, and Showmaker is 2 levels down on Zeka. One of them is obviously from the Rod of Ages, but it is not a good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we talked about this already. You know, if the rest of the map gets fed and Showmaker falls a little bit behind and he can gold card people, still going to have value. And now he's kind of getting TP'd on is Zeka. They're going to have a very small little teleport, but it's enough as they get on in. Also, Paranoia in the mid lane. As this is happening, they don't... Okay, the gold card comes out, and finally they do get the kill. As now, in the mid lane, it does look like they went a little bit too aggressive. And now going in, a huge big one is going to hit the front line. And now Kanavi just goes wild onto everyone. Nobody can touch the Shinjao. Look at the damage out of this. Guma falcing forward, and she was all alone. HANWHA Life Esports triple kill for Kanavi as they look for the Baron.
Zeus is getting worked out of the bot lane. Kanavi gets a triple kill, and that's just going to be an easy Baron. And just like that, DPLUS find a pick, and then the whole game collapses because they overstep around the mid lane. We obviously saw this one just a moment ago. Not much Zeka can do to really outplay this. He goes for the ult, but they both manage to avoid it. He buys time and does get Showmaker low, but I'm wondering how this fight started around mid lane.
It's paranoid in.
Yeah, he's so close to the tower still. He can just Valkyrie, he's basically under tower. The tidal wave again disrupts the counterplay, and I just guess they didn't see Kanavi wrapping around, but this is so over-forced from DPLUS, trying to look for the Corki, and Gumayusi just knows exactly how to...
Career.
He's okay.
He almost died to the maiden. But, yeah, he's okay. And, you know, DPLUS key in this mid-game, like, they had so many ways to keep rolling with this lead, and two unfortunate fights.
Have you seen Kanavi's build?
Yeah. Haven't we seen this before? Did somebody do this in, was it Road to EWC?
I think someone maybe did go Dusk and Dawn. I mean, I feel like it was LCK. Make it third, but yeah, it just means just so much, saying so much damage with the Titanic Hydra, and you saw him popping off in that last fight. Now it kind of feels like DPLUS are going to struggle to approach. They do have the Nocturne to start a fight. I don't know if Lucid's strong enough to dive into HLE here. Especially Zeka will just melt him.
Yeah. I mean, they had such a strong mid-game, or at least potential, to win these fights, and it just kind of got thrown all away.
That's really unfortunate. You know which champion gets more gold when you get farm?
TF.
Yeah, he is very far behind in terms of farm. Yeah. 70 CS down compared to Zeka.
Yeah. And now she was like, well, I'm pretty strong. Maybe I can do something here. Paranoia's going to come out to protect, I suppose. Bit of damage on a Kanavi, who's going to heal for about a bajillion. In comes Zeus from behind, as immediately Zeka going to ult backwards as Ingo's Siu nearly dies. Zeus is in that backline, just chasing Lucid out of the game, who has already flashed out of this one and is backing on a blast cone. Zeus maybe looking for something on a smash, but just going to push him away.
How did no one die? If we're being real, if we're being honest, how did no one die in that passage of play? Definitely felt
Kanavi
like...
just don't... Or Kanavi. HLE don't have enough engage, I feel like.
I think that is kind of the issue that we talked about in draft. It doesn't really matter that much because they are so far ahead in goal. They can't just run at DPLUS. But it does allow some of the stragglers to escape, and by some I mean all the stragglers, everyone escaped.
Yeah.
But it still kind of shows that DPLUS really struggling to match up. Now Kanavi, he still has ult.
Yeah, I don't know if you can actually kill this guy. And they're gonna try, in they go. Kanavi's like, hell yeah, bring it on. As everybody tries to get into the circle. And Kanavi's ready to go once again. Smash, no mana, but he's got the wild growth, but he doesn't have a health bar. Guma just gonna pick up that kill. DPLUS Keria kind of floundering here, almost forcing things, and HANWHA Life Esports, they don't need engage if DK keep running into them.
You know, one of Zinzao's lines is he says, into the arena, and I think Kanavi just embodies that. You gotta throw it down. He's game every time, and now they're pushing to look for an end.
Yeah, this is a lot of power from them. Just the Yunara is down, and they are pushing in. They're only gonna get the one Nexus turret. Showmaker trying to catch the wave. In goes Delight. He's trying to play engage Nami. Doesn't really work out. Paranoia coming in, still trying to clear the wave, but the super minions are coming in, and I think you could just hit the Nexus, but instead, just gonna go for Sheka, who had Sonya's, and now Smash by his lonesome, trying to kite it out, but the burst damage is there. Nobody has died on the side of HANWHA Live Esports, as this game has been a wild ride as well, but this one definitely a lot more obvious as HLE take the lead in the mid game and shut it down for the clean.